Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined as always by Rona Mac.
How are we? Ooh,
All
Mac.
good.
Mac,
All good.
okay.
Mac is back.
Hey, we're going nicknames now.
We're going nicknames.
Didn't
No,
know.
we won't go nicknames. How are you keeping? All good?
I'm all good. I'm surprised you're here. I thought you'd be on your day 3 of celebrations.
Of the Lily Whites
Probably the
dominating. We're Hurling County now.
Probably the greatest day since Miko came into the county.
We're hurling. Oh, don't, mate. You have to bless yourself when you say Mick O'Dwyer. No, we're Hurling County now. That's it. We're gone full Wrexham, back to back to back. Christy Ring, Joe McDonough. Now Liam McCarthy naming he's a target in his back now. Taking the dubs this weekend.
You'll have to tell your kids to put the footballs away.
Stop. We're living in Nace. They're bred with sticks now in Nace. That's it. The whole Kildare hurling team is pretty much Nace. But yeah, listen, it's a golf podcast, not a GAA podcast. Just before we get going, this podcast is brought to you in association with Flowgas. If you are in the market for anything gas, electricity or solar powered, visit flowgas.ie. They've a great bunch of offers on at the minute, including Emerald Park tickets if you do sign up with them, even if you're new. So it does differentiate them from anything else in the market. As we say religiously on the podcast, they support golf at every level, and it is good if you are up for renewal just to get a quote off them and give them a chance. They are supporting golf, so it would be good to support them back. Visit flowgas.ie. Here we
Gas
go.
men.
Gas men, yeah, they are gas men, and electricity. Big week, US Open week. Before we get stuck into a full-on US Open preview, let's just have a quick rundown on what else happened. We'll kind of flip the narrative a little bit. DP World Tour, Connor Syme got his maiden win.
Long time coming, that one as well, to be fair.
Long time coming. Yeah, I've played with him before, actually. A couple of pro-ams. Really nice fella, really good. Delighted to see him getting the job done. Bit worrying for Conor Purcell. Another cut.
Yeah, another cut, but he came close enough to making it. But he's kind of gone off the boil the last couple of weeks. But like since he's come back to Europe, his performances have been steady, so I'm not overly worried.
Yeah, and then jogging in PGA Tour with a Foxy win in Canada. These will kind of have crossovers in when we're talking about the US Open. No need to go deep in it, but yeah, Foxy won fourth playoff hole.
Fourth playoff hole. Probably the worst playoff I've ever seen.
It took them 20 tries to birdie a par 5. That, like, Foxy birdied this every hole in regulation, and then took him 4 goals to get it done. But yeah, it wasn't the best putting in the playoff. Boys missing putts left, right and centre. But
I liked how they changed the whole location though midway through it.
Yeah,
I thought that was good.
Yeah, good event though. Good event and all.
Always is.
Good prep for thing. We'll get into it, like, outside that. Lowry showing signs. Rory. Mm-hmm. One thing worried me from this: Seamus Power withdrew injury. He's just like between his hip before and his back now. It's not good. Hasn't
got a clean break for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's not good. So we'll leave the rest for roundup when we're finished with the US Open stuff. We'll get a little bit of delve into the LET. I know Lauren Walsh went well on that, and then quick look at Liv and stuff like that. But anyway, let's get stuck in. US Open, Oakmont. Talk to me.
I don't know. Because McIlroy's not playing well. It's just no buzz when McIlroy's not playing well. Everyone seems to be expecting a Scotty Scheffler cakewalk, and with a hint of carnage at the same time. A hint of carnage. This is going
do you remember Oakmont, the last 2 Oakmonts? Like the last one I disregarded.
I remember
2016.
I remember that, yeah. But
2007,
no.
have you looked at? No, carnage, like absolute carnage. And yeah, Oakmont is... There's very few courses in global golf that are on my sort of short list of, I just want to play that golf course. There was 3 of them up until a couple of years ago. Oakmont was up there second, Winged Foot was there, and Merion. They're the 3 global courses I want to play. Ticked Winged Foot off, beast, class. Oakmont is just... It's pure debauchery, like. It is one of the hardest golf courses in the world, and it is on juice this week for this. This is just going to be... it's the greatest test.
Yeah.
It totally is. Like, if you were to give the USGA, like, we were used to, like, a good open rota, and that can be a tough test. We're used to going back to Augusta National, same place every time. If you were to say to the USGA, pick one event that you go back to every year and host the US Open all day long,
They'd go
Oakmont. And the stats show that, like, this is the 10th US Open there. It's 3 more than any other. It's scheduled in for 3 more US Opens between now and 2040, I think. 2045. So yeah, this is just pure mental. It's the greatest test because it's not a long golf course. Like, it's 7,200 yards. So it's not overly long.
No, it's just about having control of your golf ball.
It's penal, yeah. That is nail on head control. Like, this is the ultimate test of patience, discipline, strategy, and probably acceptance, because you're going to feck a lot of stuff up around Oakmont.
Yeah, it's probably the one major that you can win with double bogeys. Yeah. Aside, obviously, McIlroy won the Masters with double bogeys, but that was just a rare thing. This is the one you're going to make doubles, and you're just going to have to accept it. Good
little segue into some stats that I have on double bogeys.
Go on.
2007, right? For the week, 381 double bogeys. First on the PGA Tour. The closest event to it that year was over 120 double bogeys less for the week. Average score in 2007, 75.7, which was the highest on the PGA Tour by a mile. Now, 2007, I keep mentioning that because that's going to be a lot closer. They have had a bit of rain around Oakmont, but they're expecting this course to get fizzy by Friday. They're not expecting any more storms or weather too. 2016 was a bit of an outlier for all previous Oakmont stagings of this, that they got heavy rain, it softened the place up, wasn't as fiery, still some of the same stats, but still, like, you had 381 doubles in and a scoring average of 75.7 in 2007. 2016, when DJ won, we'd still had 301 double bogeys for the week, which is more, you again ranked first on the PGA Tour. The closest one was PGA National to that year, and it's like 70 double bogeys less, you know, and like 33 others, so higher than that. Like, it's crazy. Scoring average did come down a little bit, 73.56 in 2016. Still the highest on the PGA Tour, though. So that'll give you a scale of how difficult they have set this up in the past. And looking at the preview stuff and where it goes, it's the toughest that's ever been set up.
Yeah, like, there's been videos of the course staff cutting the rough with mowers. Now, the blade doesn't look to be too low on those mowers.
Yeah.
Like, even with the rain coming in, everyone will be probably slightly disappointed that it's not going to be as firm and fast as you'd hope, but like, it'll just make the rough even tougher because it's just so unbelievably thick. Apparently, it's not as long as it was in the Memorial Tournament, but just by virtue of how thick it is, it's just way more penal. So I think the rain will probably give an opportunity to hit more fairways and avoid running out, and maybe give a bit more control on the greens, but it probably will accentuate how penal it will be going into the rough though as well.
Yeah, off the tee, like you were saying, it's not overly long.
There
are some long holes. There are like 7,200 yards. We've seen it go like tipping close to 78, 7,900 in previous years. There are some holes, we'll get into that flip the narrative on, but it is the approaches here. Just finding the fairways is not enough. The last 4 winners at Oakmont have all topped the scales on their approach play, greens and reg, hitting the greens. It's one thing hitting the greens, it's another thing hitting the right zones. These greens are massive.
And they're actually not, apparently they're not playing overly quick in terms of like anything extreme.
Oh, no, they are.
Well, players are saying they're not overly, like, nothing they haven't seen before, but the slopes are what makes them unbelievably quick.
So
if you have a flat putt on the green, they're actually quite holeable. But if you're on the wrong side of the slopes, you're in serious bother.
I don't think you'll see as many putts holed from 20 feet and out this week. Just based on the break of them. And you look at stats from the last few, like Cabrera famously came out and said, like, he won here, and he said, like, his score when he won was +5, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
with a birdie on a famous par 3.
Yeah, but like, and he famously came out and said, "I'm a crap putter," but nobody held anything outside 20 foot, so it was perfect for me for the week. But
that could suit somebody we know very well.
On the, like, you're talking about the rough, yeah, it's like 5-inch thick rough. But USGA officials have confirmed yesterday that they're going to get these greens running on the stimp between 14.5 and 14.9 if the weather holds the way it is. Normal on the PGA Tour is about 12.5. That is off the charts. You add slope into that. It is just all set up for absolute carnage.
Like Ben Griffin said on one of these podcasts, if you gave me +4 now, I'd take it. I wouldn't bother teeing it up. Just wait and see what happens.
Yeah, and like 100% I'd probably agree with. Like, level par wins this. Now, we could be made look silly if it lashes rain, but I still think they're set up for protection in it. This is like the USGA pride themselves in setting this up as the ultimate test. I like seeing US Opens that it's not like, we go back. Erin Hills hosted the women's, last week? 2 weeks ago. We go back and look at, like, when Erin Hills hosted its first USGA event in 2017 when Brooks won. 16 under was the winning score. Like, that's not US Open.
You don't want to see that.
Like,
ever again.
Look at that. Yeah, exactly. Ever again. But even last year, Pinehurst -6. LACC was -10. The Country Club -6. Torrey Pines -6. Winged Foot -6. Pebble Beach 13 under. And then you go back 2018 Shinnecock +1. A test. Proper stuff. Then Oakmont -4 the last time. That's when they got even.
Well, in fairness, Winged Foot, Bryson was the only one to shoot under par though for the 4 rounds. So you're looking at level
it's a
par.
Proper test.
You're looking at level par as second place there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even like the previous US Opens, I just said 6 unders, your 9 unders, your 10 unders. They're all grand. Like, you're happy enough with that. But you want something more serious every once in a while, and this will be it. This
will be it. This is why I'm so excited. Do you enjoy watching this type of golf? Like, as in back foot golf. These guys are normally 75% of the time firing at pins on green lights everywhere. 25% of the time hang back, hold my score. The narrative's flipped here. This is total back foot golf. Do you like that?
Yeah, I like it in the extent that you're going to see. I love seeing players cracking long irons into the middle of the greens. I just find that really satisfying, which is why I hate the par 3 that we're going to get onto later on. I like seeing them struggle. I like seeing them have to plot their way around the golf course, which obviously leads to those cracking long irons that you often see.
And lay back a bit. Like, a lot of players, I think, will lay back this week knowing that the rough is so penal.
Because I don't think you can bomb and gouge this week.
No, you
just can't. Which is obviously what a lot of US Opens have become associated with. But I like the way that par on a hole is a really good score. I don't know. I just find it really satisfying and enjoyable to watch. And obviously you don't want it every week. I enjoy even Canada last week, 15, 16 under, 17 under, whatever it was, perfect, fine. You don't want to see going over 20 under into your 30s on the PGA Tour.
It's a major like this week.
This is how golf should be played, testing all facets of your game. This is what you want.
I love hearing lads complain. I love hearing players complain.
What are we playing? They're all very moody little bitches anyway.
No, but I know, but I love that they're put out of their comfort zone. Like, there is a fear there. They're intimidated. Rough is 100%, like, if the USGA and the RNA have dropped the ball over the last 20 years on, like, losing technology, rough is the great leveler on a proper design like this. It's I just can't wait. I'm so excited. I found it really hard since the Masters to get juiced for anything got to do with golf, because it was such a pinnacle, and the last major was such a major disappointment in my head. This is, I just can't wait.
The one thing I would say about the rough around the greens, it takes away a bit of the artistry of the short game. Like, they're all going to be playing the same type of shots. Whereas, when you go to somewhere like Pinehurst, it was so perfect, such a variety. You could put up those one-off areas, you could flop it up, chip it, do whatever. That's the only thing. Which is why, like, Memorial was probably such a great test in preparation for this.
Yeah, like I think that they're not used to having 5-inch rough around, like literally 10 inches off the green. So you'll have a lot of balls run up against collars and sit into things, and little collection areas, run off areas. No, I'm all for it, but I get what you're saying. Can be a bit just pull the 60 everywhere, one dimensional. But that's for like long and sideways misses. A lot of short misses, the run off areas, you're gonna have to see guys taking the low route into these, because if you look at some of the mad holes, and like the 8th, I think it was, the second green, like insane. You're missing the wrong. Like you're gonna see players be borderline embarrassed about some of the misses that they have this week on the greens, and I'm all for that. Like I love Brandel Chambly had a good quote about the USG. I don't know who he was quoting, someone else, but I just heard him saying it on the way in. So they're not trying to embarrass the best players in the world. They're just trying to identify him. I like that. That's a good one, yeah. I really like that. But no, rough and more rough. That's what I say, yeah. Put them out of comfort zone. Even without rough, this place is insane. I don't know, have you looked into the back history of this place? Of what it was designed to be and built. There's a guy called Henry Phones who was the original builder of this. Guy was given like a couple of years to live, Pittsburgh man, steel factory owner, and wanted to build like the toughest golf course in America, and pretty much succeeded out the gate. But was a real from reading and looking at stuff online. I put him like Pat Ruddy. He's a cut from that cloth. Just a total golf anorak into the game, but an absolute sadist when it comes to like putting a golf course design. Wants to punish people, wants to reward really good shots, but absolutely punish anything that's not perfection. This guy would do exactly like Ruddy did at the European Club. See someone hitting a shot, go out in the middle of the night, there's a bunker there, there's something there the next week.
There's a random stream 50 yards short of the green for no reason.
Yeah, like just go out, like put handcuffs on lads. So Henry Phones was the guy, yeah, pure Pat Ruddy type, and in a really good way, like, and nothing negative, but they got out of the place in the 40s, then trees were planted in and grown up. It changed the whole aspect of the course, and then since the last US Open was there in 2017 to now, they got Gil Hans involved, did a full job in this course, like removed most of the trees, brought it back to what it's originally designed to be like, and has introduced that level of difficulty to it as well. So it's so good. I'm, like as everyone can, if listening, I'm just so excited, just cannot wait for this to get going.
Weather looks actually okay. I'm looking at a USGA forecast. Like they've had 13 inches of rain in the last 10 weeks, and they actually, for the practice round on Monday, said that the media had to walk outside the ropes to preserve the rough and everything.
The juiciness.
Apparently the fairways are absolutely saturated. Like the weather looks pretty good. Today, no rain, 20% chance. Wednesday, 0% chance of rain. Then it's 0% chance until Friday afternoon. And then it might get a bit soggy over the weekend, but by Thursday, Friday, it could be firm and fast again.
The damage will be done.
The
car will be crashed by Friday when the rain comes. That's it. They can change tyres all they want. They'll be running for cover at that stage. The draw is important here.
Yeah, always is.
Yeah, the draw is one thing that gets under it. We don't have it to hand yet. It's Tuesday morning here when we're recording this. But yeah, the draw is very important. That sort of late, early. If you can get I don't know. I'd probably. It depends on the weather on the Friday. A late early could be a good draw.
Late early looks pretty good because it's supposed to rain on Friday afternoon. Well, that's when it's most likely to rain. 20% chance.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe late early looks pretty good.
Or early late. You get so you're teeing off early and you get the course in good nick on Thursday morning, and then if you can avoid the showers, if there's no heavy downpours. And the greens get a bit juicier, a bit more receptive for the afternoon. So early, late.
As long as McIlroy's not out with Scotty Scheffler, we're on to a winner.
They're going to do that.
Oh, they can't. I'm sick of it. It just doesn't suit him.
Well, that's his problem at this stage, you know. He's walking along with, I'm the greatest. I am the greatest. Go full Muhammad Ali on it. Right, we get into runners and riders and who you fancy, what you're looking at.
We're harassed Englishmen.
Well, I've been on this beating the Harris English drum. If you were to give me two outsiders for this week, Harris English is 66, between 66 and 80, depending on where you go for your odds. I already have him at over 80 to 1 through Paddy's. Then I'm looking at a Sepp Straka alongside that. It's just, I think there are type of players that you need to go for this week are players that just won't be phased by mistakes. We'll just keep plodding away. Like, the more we talk about what's required here, it's like, if you were to ever build a golf tournament, create a golf tournament on like EA Sports on the PlayStation or something like that for Scotty Scheffler to win, this is it.
Oh, this is it. Like again, controlling the golf ball, he's probably the best in the world at it. I like Harris English and Sepp Straka as well. I was looking at Cameron Young's odds, but then I realised he's a terrible US Open record, even though he's a good major record overall and looks to be back in form. Monday qualified for this. 90 to 1, like, you don't often get him that high odds. Yeah. He seems to be coming into a bit of form as well, but I don't think his putter would hold up over the 4 days. That was the only thing.
Like, this might sound like a wild statement here on Scotty, but I think he's that good. If he gets a good draw and he gets a good start and he actually gets and puts pressure in this field and makes lads be aggressive. There's a lot of variables at this. I could easily, now I'm not predicting this is going to happen, but this could be his 2000 US Open moment when Tiger lapped the field and won by like 14, 15 shots. This could happen at this golf course.
We just put up press releases then Saturday, Sunday, and to hell with this.
No, but if he's well clear by Friday, it's over.
Yeah, that's the fear though, isn't it? Like,
and he will not back off. He'll just methodically, work his way around this golf course. He is the ultimate chess master. But yeah, I could be made look silly with a prediction like that, but I think he is that good and this course is that difficult that you could see that.
That is the fear. And he's just overwhelmingly and so comfortably the favourite here. Like, he's 12 to 5. Next best is Bryson at 6 to 1. Then you've got McIlroy at 9. McIlroy at 9, that's a long time since he's been there. Yeah,
but rightfully so.
Right? Yeah.
I don't. It's going to take a lot more than 3 days to sort out his drive. I hope I'm eating my words. I hope he's up there. I hope he gets his act together. Like, I know
on the range at 6:30 this morning.
Yeah, with a new driver in the bag.
Yeah.
So he's gone back now to his QI10 that he's gone back to the same setup as the Masters, which I like hearing. It's not just the head. Anyone that thinks it's the head that he was messing about with QI35 over the last while, yeah, he has been. He was kind of backed into that corner of doing it, but he also was messing around with length. He went shorter in his driver, trying to take dispersion in, trying to do all that. And that's like mid-season driver length changes can be catastrophic. And we've seen that in Canada. He had a two-way miss going on. It affects feel, it affects everything. So he's gone back to the length that he is used to, which for Rory is, he sort of bounces between 44.5 and 45 inches. Depends on weights and setup and stuff like that. But no, I'm happy to see him going back to the longer length shaft and not cutting it down a bit. But yeah, it'll be very interesting with Rory.
Yeah, any other one take your fancy? Russell Henley would be in that league of just A to B, kind of getting it up and down, scrapping his way around. Still top 10 in the world somehow.
Yeah, I think it's just more steely characters. Like, if he wasn't as under-golfed, Tyrrell Hatton is someone that would stick out to me.
Yeah, like he's never really done it in the major, never got himself in the mix. Like, and at the PGA, there were flashes of, I thought that could have been the week that he got himself into the mix. Like, after a round and a half, he was flying, and then he just so easily loses the head.
Yeah,
and I just don't think, especially at a US Open, he can cope with that.
No, I would like it. Lowry is. I just worry. I don't even worry about Lowry on the greens this week. I worry temperament wise. I think I don't know. He's not a patient man. it's very easy for me to say behind the microphone, but he's letting things get to him on the course. He's too visibly animated around things. A good Shane Lowry, when he's at his best, just takes it in a stride, walks on to the next. Like, his ball striking last week was off the charts.
Yeah, and
so good.
He put it decently for the most part as well. This is an ideal test for him. I mean, obviously coming second 9 years ago, whenever it was, is testament to that. But tee to green, he's as good as anybody in the world at the moment. And look, when it's a course where you're hitting the ball 20, 25 feet away from the pin, you're not really expected to hold putts.
Yeah.
In that regard. So maybe it does suit him. We'll take the pressure off the short stick. Like, even last week, he had that unbelievable start. And then as he made the turn, the putts dried up and everything kind of dried up on him. That's the fear. Like, he just can't piece it all together for 72 holes at the moment. And that's why he hasn't won. Yeah,
but I think this week will just amplify the patience. I just don't think he has the patience. He has everything.
But is there not an element where he knows it's going to be tough for me, but it's going to be tough for everybody else?
Yeah, but it boils back to what I said at the start: acceptance. It's very hard. It's very hard. It's all between the ears. I'd love to see him up there featuring and going at it. I just, I might regret saying this, but it's like Rory. I just can't see it this week.
I don't know. McIlroy has a point to prove, though.
Yeah, I hope he has. You were talking about this before. Pointy elbows coming out. This is
where it goes.
I hope it does. I don't know. He's made a mauler since he's won. Since he's completed the Grand Slam. What scared me is with McIlroy is when he came out, his last presser. He's doing very few pressers these days. But he came out and he openly said, he's struggling with the practice. What do you practice for? That worries me.
Yeah, I think he need only look at the fella next to him, like Scotty Scheffler. Surely your motivation should be to stop this guy from dominating, because he's going to make a mockery of you.
Stop him doing what? Stop him trying to achieve what you've already achieved. That's
true.
It's stop him what? Stop him today, stop him tomorrow. It doesn't matter. Unless Scotty Scheffler wins all 4 majors, he's not in the same league. Long term, historically, now he's at the peak of his powers. But it's just very hard to reassess. He's struggling with that reassess your goals side of things, and
which is understandable.
Totally understandable.
You've completed golf. What's next?
Yeah, I've completed golf. Yeah, you buy next year's game.
Yeah,
when it's done, it's done. But that's what worries me. But because Scotty doesn't seem to stop, and even looking at it this year, we were highlighting the money element of it. He's not fazed by anything at all, thrown out. He's made nearly $15 million this year on course earnings. He made over 70 million last year. It's bonkers what he's doing. But when he clicks, 3 wins in his last 4 starts, it's different level stuff. It is different level.
But he's won it so easily as well in those 3 starts. He's not really been challenged, which would be worrying, because looking at even some of the live lads, Koepka not playing well, Dustin Johnson's off the radar altogether. Rahm's going okay. He's top 10 every time he plays, pretty much on live, and you can read into that what you want. But I just don't know about Rahm still.
Yeah,
is he in Scheffler's league at the moment? Or probably not.
John Rahm is 9-1 for this tournament, which is a bit mad. When you compare him up to Joaquin Niemann, is 25s. I'd be having a cut of Neiman.
I think you said this for the Masters
I did.
It's all set up for him to come, tie 20th or something.
Him and Colin Morikawa, we're naming half the field here, but
Morikawa's a good shout. Good control of his golf ball.
Yeah, these are guys that, they're not the longest in the world, but they'll kill you with precision. So, yeah, there's so many. There's so much. This is the one golf tournament that there's so much more up for chance. That it's so hard to pick a winner and stuff like that, but yeah.
I actually just on we're talking about lads who are really strong from tee to green. The strokes gained as well. We always read so much into that. Just I was looking at Sam Burns, thinking he's solid everywhere. Supposed to be the best putter on tour, but then you put him under pressure last week and he couldn't hold anything.
Yeah, but the putt he missed in the 72nd hole before it went to a playoff was awful.
Oh, it was dreadful.
It was awful putt. Like,
Yeah.
it was only 6 footers all he's left, and he didn't even hit the hole
No, he completely shoved it.
to win. So yeah, it's no, I'm not having Sam Burns.
No, but you just need to pick. You're going to need to pick a scrapper. Obviously, if you want to put the house on Scheffler, put the house on Scheffler, and you won't even get your mortgage back, I'd say, at this stage. But like I think it's going to be down to someone who's really ready to scrap. Again, as you said, acceptance. Par is a good score. Bogeys are not disastrous.
Yeah,
Like-
that's why in all my writing the stuff down, Sepp Straka just kept popping up. Like, I do like Harris English this week. I do think Lowry, if he can avoid like disaster, like I don't if yeah, it's. But yeah, you're right. It needs someone that goes in that's not afraid to get stuck in and will just move on from mistakes.
Spieth. All the mistakes in the world. But he keeps going.
Oh, stop. No, it's yeah, what are your thoughts on Bryson? I don't think he's a prayer here this week.
I don't know. It depends what Bryson shows up, because at the Masters he started like laying back off the tee, and that's just not his game at all. Whereas I think if he takes driver on, he's probably the only one who can go in the rough and still gouge to the front of the green, if you get me, with a wedge.
Yeah, but they're different green. This is not a wing foot gouge to the front. You're grand.
I know. I'm getting to that, because if he lays back and hits these irons the way he's been hitting them with this weird toey draw,
he has new irons.
He won't be able to control his golf ball.
It's one thing we called out. He has new irons this week, so there's less bulge on the face, which he won't have to bludgeon them as hard. A little bit more finesse to it. Haven't seen any of his iron numbers, but he definitely has new irons in the bag this week. That's one thing that will. Yeah,
he was fourth on live last week as well.
Yeah, so he's showing signs.
Yeah, but that's all well and good. But putting them into like a pressure pot of a major championship, of a US Open, it's different gravy. Like, it's like you can get all the new irons you want. It's clearly a swing problem as well.
Yeah, no, it is. It's more a mentality. It's a macho thing as well with him. He has to try and overpower a golf course, even though his touch is unbelievable. Like, we've seen it at Pinehurst last year, but those creative shots, you're not going to have it's not going to be the same test here. And these greens are ginormous. So yeah,
you're writing him off.
I'm writing Bryson off. Yeah, I wouldn't touch him this week. That's just me. I just don't like. I don't think he has the game for this test. I think he's one of the best players in the world, like, and he's entertaining, but I on this golf course this week, I just can't see it. Anyone else stick out?
Tommy Fleetwood?
Yeah, Tommy's gritty.
Yeah.
He just I don't know.
New putter in the bag as well.
He's gone zero torque, isn't he?
Yeah.
He the Spiders ET. Justin Rose has in the bag as well. Peter Finnan has in the bag.
I like
serious stuff. That's what I'm telling you now. I had plus 5.9. Doesn't say much about my game. I'm using Arcos sensors. Plus 5.9 on the greens there, on average of the last 2 rounds that I've played, and I still am not positive, or I'm still in positive in strokes gained across. As in, I'm losing shots when you add everything else up. It's shocking. Everything else was shocking.
Like, we're talking about like lads who are really good from tee to green. Corey Connors like can't put under pressure.
Yeah,
that's the story with a lot of those type of players as well. Is the only thing. Like, I don't know. I like Ben Griffin 50-1. That's very short for a player like him, isn't it? Even though he's flying this year, in fairness. Matty Fitz 66. No. Just
can't see it.
Aaron Rye, first round leader, guaranteed. Each way. Always is.
No, it's like, if you finish ahead of Scotty Scheffler, you win this golf tournament.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's what it boils down to, you know. The stats all point. Even Scotty, like I was talking last week about 7 wood in the bag. He's whipped that out, gone back to his 3-iron, his Shrixon 3-iron into the bag. Yeah, I just can't. I can't see Scotty not. My worry for the field is if he gets a march early, like I said, it could turn into an absolute. He could just run away with this. If people are forced to chase him, he could just run away with it. But yeah, interesting stats on the. Would you actually count the crypto.com thing that Rory and Scotty? Would you count that as a win?
A win's a win.
A win's a win.
Yeah.
Right. Well, if you count that as a win, that makes it even worse. Like, if you take the whole Premier League season the span of the Premier League season, Scotty Scheffler has then, if you count that win, he has 12 wins in that span, and Man United only have 9. So
even without the crypto, he didn't need it.
He didn't need the crypto, no. That's bonkers stats.
We've had that in the pipeline for a week.
Yeah. I've sat in that for a while.
We should have a segment on the pod where we launch all these stats to make a fool out of Man United every single week.
And I get an email abuse saying, who Leeds fan, Liverpool fan taking a piss out of Man United.
Yeah, but we're smiling at the end of the year. We've had great years.
We're both champions.
Both champions.
No, it's I'm all I'm full of the joys of life looking into this. Is there anything else on US Open you want to hit on?
The par 3?
Yeah, go for it.
Not for me, Bill.
How long is it? It's
300 yards.
Yeah,
like even Larry hitting driver into it in practice. Morikawa hit it in. They'd be the two high profile names that I saw. I just don't get it.
What hole number is it?
8, I think, is it?
Yeah.
I just don't understand it. Like, I just don't.
It does level out. Like, they've a drivable par 4. They will take. There's one of the par 4s is only 340 odd yards, and they'll bring that. They'll make that drivable. Cabrera knocked it on actually in when he won.
What if they make that shorter than the par 3? I
think it's the 8. Yeah, but I don't think they will. I don't think they do that. That would be funny though. I would like to see a bit of that.
But I know we all hate. I don't like a long par 3 anyway, and I get how the US Open you're going to get that. But I don't know, just make them crack in a 4-iron or something. Make it difficult to hold the green. Yeah,
I'm all for it. I like that. I just think you're bringing more carnage into the fold.
It's a test of ego as well. Hitting driver off par 3,
driver on a par 3 to get onto the green.
Be no problem for Joe Lyons. Loves it.
Anything else then?
No, that's pretty much it. I think the USGA, I think the days of losing the golf course are long gone.
Yeah.
I think they'll get the test spot on again this week, and as close to level par is going to win. If you shoot level par now, I'd say you have a 90% chance of winning.
I'd say most of the field, there's very few players, if you were to say to them now, we'll give you level par now, do you want it, yes or no? There's very few players that would not see themselves lifting that trophy if you were to give them that score. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I'm interested to see how Johnny Vegas gets on.
Why?
Because he's given just non-stop Twitter updates about the rough and about the green speeds and everything.
Johnny Vegas, the comedian, has more chance.
I don't
know. Right, moving on. We said we get stuck back into a couple of other things. We had the LET.
What could have been?
After 2 rounds, Lauren Walsh, I thought, here we go.
Yeah, she had the lead after 36 holes. First time
3-shot lead.
First time she's held a 36-hole lead in her LET career. But unfortunately, things did not go her way. Third round, 77. Dropped it back to 4 under par. And even, still...
She was still in the hunt.
Still 4 back. If you said that another way around, she worked her way up to that position, you'd be like, oh, she's banging in this.
Yeah.
But obviously, she just lost all momentum. Level par 72 for a 14th place finish on 4 under. 5 shots behind Sarah Kuskova, who won back-to-back events on the LET, 9 under par total. And a cool winning prize of €75,000. Yeah.
It's mad when you put the numbers up against what they were earning. That was a really good week's work.
You'll get that for winning a Challenge Tour event.
Yeah. No, it was a really good week's work for Lauren. And she €8,800 in prize money. Would have cost her half that to get there. And stay for the week.
If that, yeah.
And food. It's mad. It just so needs investment on the LET, but the talent is there. But they just need to expedite how quick they get to the LPGA and get into majors.
Well, there's no direct route to the LPGA via the LET, which is why Sarah Byrne's playing a lot of Epsom Tour golf. If you win the LET Order of Merit, all you get is your place in the final stage of Q School for the LPGA. Yeah. So that's why Tamberlini's back playing this year. And she's in all the majors as well, but she's playing on the LET.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is mad. When you Lauren Walsh is going to win soon. We've been calling this for a while. I thought this was the week when she got out the traps quick, but it would be amazing if that win is at the KPMG Women's Irish Open.
Yeah, and she's trending all year, so
100%.
Hopefully a bit of home support would bring her on a bit more. But like every week they have a tournament, she's a name you're looking at.
Yeah. Oh, she is totally. Pulling away from that roundup as well, we had Live Golf Virginia, Crushers.
I thought this was going to be the best weekend of your life.
Second straight win for the Crushers. Neiman wins his 4th of the season. And GMAC. Out of nowhere. Wow. Pebble.
Yeah, it's funny.
Peaks for the US Open. $1.8 million.
I'm very invested in him getting into the Open, like qualifying for the Open in Portrush. And look, like to see him playing well. But when push came to shove and he was in the mix, he was leading at the time, I couldn't care less. I did not care.
Oh, I knocked it on. I watched it now. The weather.
See, I don't have a dodgy box.
No, you don't need a dodgy box.
You must have gone over to your friend's house for the dodgy box again, did you?
You don't need a dodgy box for this.
You do?
You don't.
I couldn't find it on YouTube or anything.
You download it. They have an app. They have their own app on the telly.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nonsense. Well, it's still...
Working in golf and you don't even know.
Still, compared to the Nations League final and then the Canadian Open where Shane Lowry was in contention, still third best.
No, this was good. I did watch a lot of this. Now, they got absolutely messed around with the weather. See them like squedgy and under the fairways. Like the fairways just filled with water.
Puncturing the fairways.
Yeah, that's what they were doing. It was just like spewing out the side. The fairway was just vomiting water into the side, like air and bubbles and water coming out. But no, it was good. But yeah, GMAC, $1.8 million for second, $500,000 more. I seen you put a piece up on that. Then he won for winning his US Open.
Oh, that would have been Mark. Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
It is, yeah.
So like the money's there, he's doing all right. I wouldn't feel sorry for GMAC, but yeah, I hope he does get into the Open. He referred to it as the British Open as well.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Online.
Didn't like that.
Yeah, it's the Open Championship.
It's not good enough. Like,
you're
trying to win the fans back here, and you're doing that.
You're calling it the British Open. Yeah, he needs the audience. He's talking to the wrong crowd. But
no, like I really want to see him qualify for the Open.
No,
and
so do I.
Could probably would be his last major if he did get in, just with the way the rankings are and the qualifying and everything. He gave US Open qualifying a good run.
Yeah, he gave it a good jolt,
which was positive, I think.
I don't know, US Open, it's the only major that if you win, they don't allow you back all the time. You only have
you get 10 years.
Yeah,
and his last major appearance was the 2020 US Open as well.
Yeah, I don't know. They should honour their champions a bit better. Let them come till they're 60.
It's toughest major for a reason.
Yeah, I know, but
get rid of the old boys.
Get rid of the old boys. But that's half the battle. That's why I like Augusta. I like the old boys playing on this golf course would be very interesting because it's not length isn't the thing.
Yeah,
I would like to see Cabrera tee it up in this,
particularly if it got firm and fast.
Yeah, but the way it's set up now, Cabrera's playing well in the seniors. He's a point to prove, and he's doing well. Did you see, actually, this is a funny segue, but it wasn't intentional bringing up Cabrera. See the putter he's using?
Yeah.
Jailbird.
Yeah.
I pissed myself laughing when I seen that coming up. Using the Odyssey Jailbird.
Great marketing campaign for
super
Odyssey.
Stuff. But I don't know why they don't talk about it more. Well, I do know, but it was just funny. But yeah, no, I would like to see some of the old boys like that coming in here because it's not a brute length test. It's more tactical and you just don't know. You could get a Tom Watson situation again from Turnberry back in the day. Something throws up like that. Outside the Open is the only chance that they'd get for stuff like that to happen. So, yeah. That's one trick they're missing.
Darren Clarke, winner again.
Winner all right.
Winner all right with Thomas Bjorn rolling back the years.
I'd say there was some points drank after that.
I said there was some points drank all week.
Yes.
Post-round points. 32 under par, rounds of 59, 58, 64 in a 54-hole team event. It's a new innovation. I wonder who will follow up with that. But no, great.
And they get world ranking points for it as well, do they?
No, I don't think so. They don't get any Schwab Cup points either.
Okay.
But no, it could have been like an all-timer of a weekend for Irish golf. Could have had Lauren Walsh, Lowry, G-Mac, and then Darren Clarke winning. Like, could have been 4 or 5 winners there. But unfortunately, just the 2 boys. Cool though, like nice to see, and it's obviously a big year for Darren as well. Coming back to Portrush as well. So, good on him.
It's nice. It is nice. Like you're talking about, it could have been a big week. It's still disappointing when I look. Like I've brought up Conor Syme there, winning. You know, you look at the top 10 in that
3
KLM
Scots.
Dutch Open, 3 Scots. Like we have one Irishman there missed the cut. There is a gap. I know we've highlighted it before.
We're blue in the face, and like, and even you look at Conor Syme and Richie Ramsey, particularly Richie Ramsey. He's journeyman pro, but like we don't have those guys.
And Ewan Ferguson, the guys like that as well.
Yeah, we even like a Ewan Ferguson is someone who will win on tour and might get one of those PGA Tour cards. Like that gives you a bit of excitement, something to follow, something to get invested in. We don't have that.
Yeah, the strength and depth just isn't there. You even look at the world ranking now of our elite AMs, of our high performance panel with Golf Ireland. Like it's on the slide.
It's on the slide, yeah, and a lot of that does have to do with the ranking
system.
To you, yeah, which is, but like even still, like the players aren't really coming through. Say that a bit quietly. Like John Doyle, in fairness to him, last week looks like a real player. He'd be somebody I'd be excited about.
Yeah, no, I don't know too much about him. You know, the last Johnny Doyle I know was a legend.
This guy could be a legend.
This guy could be a legend in his own right.
But no, like John, we might as well get on to it. Like lost in the playoff at the St Andrews Links Trophy, and like this is a huge amateur event this side of the water, and it was the first event held after like the US college season ended. So there was a lot of big players coming over to play this, and he lost in a playoff after shooting like 36 holes in the final day. He shot rounds of 66 and 65 to set the clubhouse target nearly 2 hours after the leaders had gone out. So like he'll get a lot of ranking points for that, Junior Ryder Cup points. Even like if he won that, he'd run the Walker Cup radar as well, because that's another concern. We don't really have anybody outstanding for that. Yeah, which is, you know, another thing that
it's worrying.
The rankings are skewed
10
against
years on
us.
from having 5 lads on the team.
But for 2 years from having 4.
Yeah, and we chances are it's looking like we're not going to have anyone on that Walker Cup team.
Yeah, it could be an all-English team.
It's mad,
which would be mental.
Won't be much support for them boys.
No, I'll be cheering for the US.
You know, yeah, exactly.
US.
We'll be out there with our Trump MAGA hats on. USA, USA. Getting ourselves ready for Lahinch for the next one then. But no, that's mad. Yeah, that is mad. But
it was a good week in fairness. Like Thomas Higgins finished in the top 10. He actually held a 54-hole lead in the morning and then went back out in the afternoon. It didn't go his way at all. But no, nice to see some faces back. Sean Keeling's back as well, so hopefully he can have a good season this side of the water. Only started 5 times for Texas Tech, but did get a win. So hopefully it's one of those things where it's just such a competitive team to make. When he comes back here, he can kind of just freewheel and do his own thing and show us what he can do.
Big fish, small pond.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. No, that's good. No, on talent coming through leads us into, you were at the Irish Challenge press day yesterday in Killeen Castle, and you got a chance to catch up with who I feel is probably the best chance of pushing on and plugging the gap already in the pro ranks and working his way up, Liam Nolan. Good chat with him?
Yeah, caught up with him for 10 minutes or so, just kind of talking about the golf course and the venue. Like the venue in terms of Challenge Tour, like this is creme de la creme. Like you go into Killeen Castle, the clubhouse is amazing. Golf course is going to be fantastic. They're talking single digits under par as the winning score. Like the rough is going to be pretty thick. Even I found it quite thick playing it yesterday. And then overall for his form, he's pretty optimistic about the whole thing. He's very comfortable in the fact that he can take weeks off now that his ranking is so strong. He doesn't need to go chasing points or chasing starts or anything like that. So yeah, we caught up with him there yesterday and we had a pretty good chat kind of just about all things. And even open qualifying is coming up next month, so he has his eye on that as well. He's going back to Dundonald where he qualified before. He thinks that's his best bet as well. So just kind of caught up with him there yesterday.
Familiarity. Yeah, so let's play 5 minutes of the clip there now anyway, and we'll bounce back on, and then we'll get stuck into the Gary Player Villain of the Week and the Paddy Harrington Heroes of the Week. Right, so here's Liam Nolan.
So first off, what do you make of the golf course? You've played here a few times, so you must know it well enough by now.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. In terms of like courses we're going to be playing this year on Challenge Tour, it's definitely going to rank up there with the best. Great test, off the tee you have to hit it far, and then you have to be really precise into the greens, and very slopey, a lot of runoffs. So it's going to be a really good test, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what scores are going to come in a tournament.
It'll be a different test as well, because you obviously started really well down in South Africa, and that was a lot of plotting away around the golf course, whereas here it's a bit more wide open, you can open the shoulders. Is that something that maybe suits your game?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters what course I play. I'm still always going to be a plotter, so it's going to be precise targets, trying to get the best angles into greens I can. So even though there's going to be a lot more drivers out here than usual, it's still going to, you're still going to have to be smart about where you place your ball on these fairways to try and open up birdie chances for yourself.
Yeah, and golf course setup as well. The rough, I'd imagine, will be even longer by the time it comes round in August, and the greens are obviously very firm at the moment as well, very quick. It's going to be difficult to hold greens if you're in the rough, and as well, you could be looking at a score of maybe single digits under par as the winning score.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of patience required around here. Even if you hit it in to within 20 feet, you might still have a big breaking putter, like a big downhill putt. So it's going to be patience and just good ball striking that does well around here.
This has hosted world class events before, Solheim Cup being the obvious one. And you look at the facilities the clubhouse are in now, this is creme de la creme, especially for the Challenge Tour as well.
Yeah, for sure. As I said, we're very lucky to be playing here this year, and I would imagine in the next few years you're going to see a lot of really high-end golf tournaments being played here.
And there's a big opportunity as well, even just aside from even trying to win here, which obviously would be amazing, and we'll get onto that, but to be the leading Irishman and to get into the Irish Open then afterwards, there's a huge opportunity for yourself and so many of the other lads.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not something you're going to be thinking about. It's more of a bonus after the tournament, but yeah, I mean, we're very lucky to have that Irish Open spot up for grabs. That would be an incredible opportunity to play there, but in the end of the day, you're just trying to go and do as well as you can in a golf tournament, and control what you can, and then whatever comes after it is very, very beneficial.
Yeah, nice to have your face on the big billboard there in the main room as well.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't looking my best because I was taken in India, and I was a bit shook after coming back from there, but yeah, no, it's cool. It was a bit of uncertainty over the course of the end of last year, start of this year, where I would be playing. So now it's nice to have played well and be kind of guaranteed a full season for the rest of the year, and faces on billboards and all that stuff is obviously quite nice. But I'm just grateful to Golf Ireland for giving me opportunities, the Challenge Tour for giving me opportunities, and I mean, I'm in a very nice position.
You've played at home a lot before, obviously in your amateur career, but when you're a pro and you're travelling quite a lot, do you appreciate it more when you get to play on home soil?
Oh, for sure. Every time you're on a flight back from somewhere on the tour back to Ireland, I always get a bit giddy to be going home. So to be playing a tournament here, on the tour is going to be really, really fun.
And as a travel point of view, playing now in this kind of European swing, will you find that easier by ways of travel, or is it kind of going to be more hectic?
I suppose it's easier in the sense that the max flight time you're going to have is 3 hours rather than 12 or 14 at the start of the year. But there's a lot of tournaments that come very quickly, so just have to be smart about scheduling, which ones you fancy yourself in, which ones you might consider missing just to preserve energy for the season.
And from a form point of view, you'd obviously had the great start to the year, missed a few cuts, but you've kind of brought it back since, and you're kind of finding that bit of consistency again. It's such a long season. Even when I was missing cuts,
I was playing quite nicely. My game's kind of been relatively consistent, you know, through all the tournaments. So I'm lucky I have a good caddy out there. We just, you know, even when we're missing cuts, we're still looking at positives and saying, you know, it's never far away. So yeah, and the more tournaments I play, the more experience I get. Like, it is still my first year, so it is nice to, you know, be playing nice golf this year and be in the position I am in.
Yeah, you kept the same caddy throughout the year so far?
Yes, and he will be staying for the rest of the year. We get on very well, and he knows my game nearly better than I do at this stage. So, you know, he's very good for me to have on the golf course, just keeping myself level-headed. We've known each other for a long time, so he's a massive asset to have.
Yeah, and obviously an important few weeks coming up, Open qualifying. Are you into the final qualifying because of last year as well?
Yes, yeah. So going back to Dundonald this year, some good memories there from last year. Obviously, the Open being in Portugal would be awesome to play in because I do love that course, but try not to think about that too much and get ahead of it. Just go and see if I can produce some good golf in Dundonald this year.
Yeah, do you remember where you were back in 2019?
2019.
Larry.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were like where when Lowry was winning. Yeah, I do. Like, I was just watching it on TV. I remember the ole 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 chants on the Saturday when he finished, and you know, got off. He made a bogey on the first and the final round, and then just played pretty flawless golf from there on in. So, like, you know, an Irish person winning an Open in Ireland has never happened before. So that was very cool to see, and you know, I play Port Rush a lot, love the course, so hopefully I can get there this year.
What's it like actually going to Open qualifying, because you know you're coming up against tour players, even some former major winners as well, like to be in and amongst that, and as you did last year, stand above most of them must be a cool feeling.
Yeah, I mean, last year I picked Dundonald because I thought it would guarantee me the worst weather of the 4 venues, which I thought would suit me coming from Galway, and it worked. It was a tough, windy, wet day, keeping my ball on the fairway, keeping the ball flight low. You know, it is kind of surreal seeing major champions playing the same course as you, but you know, you can only golf your own ball, and I managed to do it really well last year.
Cool, best of luck.
Cheers.
Yeah, he seems quite confident.
Yeah, always is. Like, classic case of old head on young shoulders when it comes to Liam, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he definitely seems like the one standout candidate to get one of those Deep World Tour cards come November.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. We need it too. Like, we just need to plug that gap. It's just what's coming behind him if he does. Same thing every year. But right, I think that's it from Roundup.
Jessica Ross won the European Mid Amateur Champion, 3rd time lucky for her as well. Beaten Aileen Walsh in an All Irish playoff as well. So that was good stuff as well over there in Portugal. And Stuart Gretton was 3rd in the men's section as well. So overall, really, really good week for the Irish. An event that we generally tend to do well in anyway at that level. So hopefully over the next few years we can churn out a few more winners. But that was definitely well overdue for Jessica Ross. I think she was beaten in a playoff maybe last year or the year before in it as well. So
Stuart Gretton kind of had to win that tournament, didn't he, to play his way into the US Mid-Am?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
So that, like, it kind of cuts. It's like he's running out of road for Walker Cup.
A little bit, yeah, but still, if he can still dominate here, he can get in.
Yeah, dominate as in win the last 2 majors and win the close.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
why not? Yeah, tough task, but you know,
close, south, north.
Yeah, and two of them are stroke play events though.
The treble.
Go
for the treble. He's going full city on it. All right, heroes and villains. Gary Player villain of the week. I was actually asked a question on this during the week. Did we ever explain why it's the Gary Player villain of the week?
No, you just named it that.
Yeah, we didn't explain why, because I just...
You're going to have your tits up on Gary Player.
Because he's a hateful individual. I'm not into a Gary Player. So yeah, that's why. But go on.
I went for Brondel Chambly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I know he had a great quote there earlier on. But I don't know, I just ranting on about Liv again. Like, give it a rest. He said, I watch Liv, but generally it's like watching a race of box cars and being told they're F1 cars. Phil Mickelson has mastered the public art in which self-righteousness congratulates the celebrator. He and his live compatriots, all of them subject to the dramatic irony of having resigned themselves to play purely for money, not for history or for their respective countries, but purely for money, and now present to virtually no purpose. Their presence in major championships is likely attended by a sense of urgency, the exact opposite, no doubt, of the lack of urgency at live events. Now, in fairness, like when Phil made that chip in on the 17th, I think on Sunday, I did question like how much does that really mean to you? Because he was giving it the whole like hands up in the air, and I don't know if it looked performative. Be
careful where you're going here, because he's on my list of heroes.
Phil,
yes.
If you're on my, Joe, if he contends this week, he'll be on my list of heroes.
Yeah, well, just don't be pissing on the parade yet. Right, so Brandel, I have two that I'd like to nominate for Villain of the Week. So one of them is another media outlet, Golf Magic in the UK. They put up a piece last week, and the headline was PGA Tour Pro walks out after 9 holes during first round at RBC Canadian Open. The most clickbait tripe you'll ever read in your life. It was about Seamus Power pulling out injured.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Oh, to war we go with
To war we go. So not only now are we back in USA in the next Walker Cup, we're declaring war on Golf Magic.
Sure, Magic's not real anyway.
I know, yeah. But yeah, so that's one. And then the other one, I could piss a few people off with this one now. The entire country of Canada and anything to do with having a rink hole in a golf course.
And you're not into that?
Not in the slightest. I think
what about the Boscos at the back of the green with the hats and the flags?
It's just no, and referees and goals and banging on the thing. And why do they sing the national anthem when people are walking onto the tee?
It's only for the Canadians.
Yeah, but why?
Could you imagine Irish Open getting a Ron Naveen sung at you?
No. This is not.
What about Ireland's call? I'd wrap the club head around somebody's head if it was Ireland's call.
No, I'm not into it. I just think it's gimmicky. It's like, it's just so, it gives me the ick every year. It does. It gives me the ick. And I'm sorry if there's any Canadians listen. I know one or two Canadians, and yeah, I don't know. Trump needs to buy the place. Just like, the sooner the better it happens. Just no. Yeah, we don't want rink holes on golf courses. Who are we going to give it to?
Golf Magic.
Go on, yes. He's gone full. We've not gone away, you know.
Declaration.
This is an official. There's a bomb and the Basketon.
And it's coming their way.
Right, okay. Paddy Harrington, Heroes of the Week.
I found this I thought there was a lack of heroes this week.
Yeah.
I know you're probably going to give it to GMAC or someone, but I've gone for Wagemans. No jips for Wagemans, while Araba often sets beat the pro record at the KLM Open. So Yip Wagemans only started playing golf 3 months ago.
Jip.
Plays off a handicap of 54, but she won't beat the pro.
Jip is a girl.
I think so.
Okay. You don't even know your own heroes.
No.
You've misgendered your heroes.
But playing golf off 54 for 3 months and winning the beat the pro is pretty cool.
Doesn't say much about the pro.
Doesn't say much for the DP World Tour. This.
No, it doesn't. Good old Jip off 54, beating him off scratch.
But the group of pros was Rafa Capera-Bello, David Rivetto, and Dylan Naidu.
Yeah, I've heard of one of them.
Yeah, Rafa.
That's
and
it.
He's dead, like.
Rafa's a good lad. Yeah, I'm going very obvious with mine. GMAC finding form. Connor Syme, 10 months of modest golf, or 10 years of modest golf. He's been with them most of that time, and he gets his first win. I played with him a couple of times before in a few pro-ams. Really nice fella. Really good lad. And then Phil the Thrill. Phil's back.
I don't know. 200-1 this week.
Is he 200-1?
Yeah.
He can do the Grand Slam this week.
You can, yeah. Who's more
slam.
likely, him or Jordan Spieth?
Can you imagine if he does?
I'd probably root for him if he was in the mix.
Oh, if he was in them, 100%. That's the one thing. Yeah, no, if he gets the juices going, that'd be savage. I would love to see Phil in the mix.
I don't think he will, though.
Yeah, he does what he does at USGA events. Just
miscut.
Just doesn't happen. So who are we going to give it to then? Jip.
Yeah, give it to Jip.
Give it to Jip for the week. So I'm going. Yeah, let's go on. Good But I was going to say good man, Jip. Good person, Jip.
Wegmans.
Jip Wegmans, our Paddy Harrington hero of the week.
He'll be delighted.
They will be delighted. They will be delighted. Yeah, that's it for the week. We will be online all week. Obviously, Irish Golfer Daily. We've probably 20-25 stories going out a day now during the US Open. Every angle you need covered, you'll find it. You can download our app as well on the App Store. Just search Irish Golfer, and yeah, that's it. Visit irishgolfer.ie or keep up to date on all your social channels. So from me and Ronan, cheers for tuning in, and we will chat to you again next week. All right, bye.